After dominating reality TV for more than a decade, Pawn Stars has finally hit rock bottom. Rick Harrison, at the age of 59, verifies the truth of his son's life sentence by disclosing the circumstances surrounding his death and the cause of his demise. The Pawn Stars show has other members who have been embroiled in scandals as well. Come explore the scandals that have plagued this beloved series, from Rick Harrison's infamous legal battles with his mother to Chumlee's brushes with the law. When Pawn Stars debuted on the History Channel in 2009, it was a popular reality TV program. The program depicts the daily operations of the gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. The success of the show made the store and its proprietors famous worldwide. While in Las Vegas in 2008, Brent Montgomery and Cole Gaines of Left Field Pictures had a concept for the performance. They chose to create a show about a family-run pawn business after noticing how many there were in the city. As a result, the gold and silver pawn shop was opened by Richard Old Man Harrison, his son Rick Harrison, and Rick's son Corey Big Hoss Harrison. Together, they operated the pawn shop until Richard passed away in 2018. People enjoyed watching gold and silver pawn shops' daily operations on television. The owner's assessments of the value of the intriguing items that consumers brought into the store were also displayed. Initially, the store mostly dealt in gold and silver purchases and sales. Its father, Richard Harrison, who had been in the company for decades and had a no-nonsense attitude, helped the firm become well known in the pawn industry. Because he was straightforward and had a keen sense of humor, fans of the reality TV program adored him. The best aspect of the business in the program was when Rick Harrison took control and used his business acumen. His father had taught him about the pawn shop industry, and he was aware that it involved more than merely closing transactions. Since some of the items they brought in had backstories, he was also aware that it was about the client's experiences. When Pawn Stars debuted on the History Channel in 2009, it made a lot of individuals famous. 3 generations of stars came after that. Rick Harrison and his 3 kids continued his work after his death in 2018. Because Pawn Stars concentrated on the intriguing items in the store, it stood apart from other reality TV programs. The objects, which included everything from vintage guns and famous souvenirs to Civil War artifacts and historical coins, frequently had captivating backstories that kept people intrigued. The popularity of the event was largely due to Rick Harrison's extraordinary expertise in gold, silver, and trinkets. Because he could explain the meaning of various items and their values, he served as the show's educational anchor. His charm and quick wit allowed customers to agree on a price. The remainder of the group also contributed to the show's widespread appeal. Rick Harrison, Richard, and his 3 boys also made occasional appearances on the show. Corey was constantly there, and occasionally, Adam and Jake were spotted as well. The show attracted millions of viewers and swiftly became a cultural phenomenon. The Harrisons gained notoriety. Family relationships, instructional parts about historical artifacts, and unpredictable customer experiences were all mixed together. The public paid close attention to the gold and silver pawn shop because Pawn Stars was so well known. The popularity and success of the show resulted in spin-offs, merchandise, and international recognition. To see the TV celebrities and take in the bargains, people traveled from all over the world to the gold and silver pawn shop. The Harrisons became cultural icons by using their economic acumen and charisma on film to convert a tiny pawn shop into an empire. One of Rick Harrison's children, Adam Harrison, has experienced a difficult existence. At the age of 59, Rick Harrison breaks the heartbreaking news of his son's life sentence. Although his son's sudden death was unexpected, it was discovered that he had served time in prison before his passing. According to a police report, authorities in Las Vegas were summoned to a call on Friday for a non-responding individual. It turned out to be Rick's child, Adam. The police arrived, verified Adam's death, and then described the event of the previous few days in his life. Adam was staying at the location in a guest house. According to information provided to the authorities, 3 months had passed since he was released from prison. The owner claimed that he allowed him to stay at his house out of goodwill, although it was unclear why he was incarcerated. Additionally, the cops spoke with Adam's buddies who lived there. Adam hadn't been in the main house for a while. They discovered that every time they texted him, he claimed to be locked down and ill. However, the roommates knocked on Adam Harrison's door for days on end without getting a response. The owner had already passed away when they opened the apartment and called him at last. Adam was acting in a very odd and erratic manner. Although he had only been on the estate for 2 weeks, unusually for the son of a reality show star, Adam had been incarcerated for months prior to this. Recently released from prison, he frequently secluded himself in his tiny guest house and avoided social interaction. Many of his roommates believed he had been imprisoned for 3 months on related charges, and they also believed he was using narcotics while inside. Before he passed away, Adam Harrison, the son of Pawn Stars star Rick Harrison, was reportedly unable to think or reason effectively. Adam Harrison did terrible things like shutting himself in the house and pushing furniture against the doors, according to one of his neighbors who resided in an RV next to the main house in the guest house. She claimed that he didn't always speak clearly or logically. She added that when he learned that someone had a boyfriend, he gave himself 2 black eyes. She claimed that because he didn't want to hit his new boyfriend, he beat himself up. According to Rick Harrison, Adam, his son, died from a fentanyl overdose. When he was discovered, weeks had passed since his death. He had a history of drug addiction and frequently used alcohol, fentanyl, and painkillers. The police discovered lighters, drug paraphernalia, straws, a foil box containing an unidentified tablet, and 2 bottles of something next to his bed. In response to a question concerning his son's passing, Rick stated that the issues at the U.S. border were the reason his son truly died from a fentanyl overdose. He wrote on Twitter, "Yes, I can confirm that Adam died from an overdose of fentanyl. The fentanyl crisis in this country needs to be taken more seriously. It looks like it's just crossing the borders, and nothing is being done about it." The cause of Adam Harrison's death was then verified by the Clark County Office of the Coroner and Medical Examiner. According to authorities, the individual was excessively high on fentanyl and other drugs when they perished in an accident. It had been 39 years since his death. In a subsequent post regarding his son's passing, Rick added, "You will always be in my heart. I love you, Adam." Although his kid was frequently featured on social media, he was hardly ever featured on the reality TV program. There are other drug deaths in the United States besides Adam Harrison's. It's so bad that in 2023, drug deaths surpassed 120,000 for the first time. It bears a striking resemblance to the crack cocaine epidemic of the 1980s and the early 2000s opioid crisis. According to the Drug Enforcement Administration, fentanyl is a Schedule II controlled substance that is around 100 times more potent than morphine. Some people can be killed by 2 milligrams of fentanyl, which is less than a grain of salt. The original founder of Pawn Stars, Richard Harrison, passed away in 2018. For years later, their company was embroiled in several legal disputes and family betrayals. Then, in 2024, Rick Harrison's life was drastically altered by the death of Adam Harrison. Rick Harrison's mother, Joanne Harrison, who was married to Richard Harrison and ran the gold and silver pawn shop, filed a lawsuit against him in February 2022. The case was filed at Nevada State Court. Joanne claimed that her son Rick forced her to give up her 51% ownership of the pawn store while she was unconscious. She added that she no longer received payments from her son's firm, which she co-owned. She claimed that Rick prevented her from accessing the family fund and took away her portion of the company without her consent. Additionally, she claimed that Rick failed to disclose to her a $3 million loan secured by a portion of her assets. She requested in the case a list of her assets, monetary damages, and a court order prohibiting Rick from using her funds. She also requested a short-term protection order to prevent Rick from selling the family's belongings. Joanne claimed at her court appearance that Rick had failed to provide her with evidence of assets exceeding $500,000. She became much more wary of him as a result. Additionally, she claimed that in 2020, Rick ceased paying her the $225,000 annually that she was entitled to as a shareholder and as part of the family's legacy. Private grievances became a public family dispute as a result of the financial strain and alleged information concealment. "Someone is trying to change his mother's mind," Rick retorted. He claimed that he had made numerous unsuccessful attempts to phone his mother during the previous few months. Rick's father's passing demonstrated that their well-known pawn shop wasn't as successful as it first appeared. The family had to cope with bitter lawsuits and betrayals following the father's death. Who owned the family business and how much money it had were points of contention. Even though Rick publicly refuted all of these accusations, Pawn Stars and his reputation were nonetheless harmed. The case demonstrated the complexity of combining family, celebrity, and business. Issues frequently occur when confidence is violated. The Harrisons were long viewed by the show's viewers as a close-knit family that collaborated to run their company. The court proceedings represented a significant shift from that perception.